Welcome FlossTube to my home. This is Shanda stitching in Idaho, and I'm decorated for the holidays, and welcome into my home. Welcome back to my channel, and before we get started, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and I'll probably say the same thing at the end. I am ready for Christmas. We have no snow here yet, but it has been pretty cold in the morning. We did have one really good snowfall, and the school children out on the school grounds one day were having a ball making snowmen. So I enjoyed that with them. When you put a kindergartner out on the playground with their snow pants, their snow boots, mittens, gloves, hats, the whole spiel, it's amazing what they can come up with. My first thing that I would like to show, I do have one FFO. I have two FOs, a couple that I'm working on. I have the winner of the chart vote from last time. The chart that I'll be kitting up and starting. I have a little bit of quilting and some prior Christmas finishes. So this might be kind of a fast and furious video so I can get it all done and uploaded. That'll be my challenge, is getting it uploaded. First of all, my tree back here, yes, it has bubble lights. Bubble lights were something from my childhood, from my grandfather, my grandmother on my mother's side, and then my mother always had bubble lights. I have several more strings of these bubble lights, but they are packed away. So I only got out one string this year. I have never had tinsel on my tree since I've been married, and that's been 36 years. So tinsel for me this year was a first. There's lots of snowflakes and different just treasured memories on that tree. And I do have one thing I'm going to talk about on that tree here a little bit later in the segment. But first, I got it done. This is Tann Bomb from Brenda Gervais. Tann Bomb. And here is the chart. I got it all done, fully FFO'd, and here is my finish. He is delightful. I really like him. He was worth persevering for. The Santa, the sleigh with the sheep, the snowflake in the middle, the house down here, and the saying, "Oh Christmas tree, oh Christmas tree." Everything is called for. I don't think I changed a thing on here except the fabric is I want to say it's up in the Mystic by, everything else by Mystic is what the fabric was. So there he is in all his glory. I do think I probably need to sign and date this on the back, and I will be doing that. But Tann Bomb, Brenda Gervais, with thy needle and thread. My one Christmas finish. I'm so glad I persevered on him. Let's see if I can get him about right there. Just love him. He was worth it. Remember, I did Santa in July, Christmas in July. It was like 4 or 5 small finishes, and he is finished. I've loved this one for a long, long time. The paint color, everything is called for, but like I said, the fabric is called Everything Else by Mystic. Oh, there he is. That's a big check mark off my list. My two FOs are both red work. One is, I don't have the front of the picture to show you. It's Christmas 1878 by Pineberry Lane. And it is this one right here. I did this on, I really don't remember the name of this fabric, and it's okay. It wasn't my favorite fabric to work on anyway. It was just a little bit, it acted almost like a 40 count or a 42 count. It was a little bit different for me, but there it is. And sorry, I'm sitting a little bit further away from my camera today. Just logistics. The one extension cord I have down here is on the Christmas tree, and this had to be right here so the cord could stretch across to my desk plug-in. So where there's a will, there's a way, right? But this is Christmas 1878 by Pineberry Lane. And I want to say, I really honestly do not remember the name of this fabric. It was sold as 36 count, but it's acting like a 40 or a 42 even. It was just kind of hard to work on. But that red is DMC 3777. I think last time I said it was 221. Not so. It's DMC 3777. Get it kind of close for you. Christmas 1878 by Pineberry Lane. And then the other red work is Stacy Nash, Merry Christmas Pin Keep. And this was all with call for, same piece of fabric. And it was Classic Colorworks Red Currant. And it's just on the other end of this. So here's this one and here's this one. So I kind of did some finagling with this. But anyway, Merry Christmas Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. I don't know if I'll get these fully FFO'd this year. I have so many things that need to be FFO'd. I'll probably wait till summer when I'm up with my Bernina and my quilting and my sewing studio up in the mountains, and just have a big party for like a week or two, getting a lot of these things done. Anyway, Merry Christmas Pin Keep by Stacy Nash. And that one is Christmas 1878 by Pineberry Lane. I don't know if I'll make probably just pillows and maybe frame one. I'm not quite sure. I also have been working on another Brenda Gervais, Letters for Santa. Letters for Santa. Always loved this one too. And here is my, I'll put this back behind it so it doesn't, I've got some of the white snowflakes done. The alphabet is all done. The little red poinsettia flower down at the bottom is done. I'll probably finish this one for this year, but it just won't be fully finished. All the little white snowflakes are so pretty. They show up really good. This is 18 count natural linen. This is the linen I've said I've loved. I can't find any more of it, but it's an 18 count, very open weave. It's almost, for the lack of a better way to explain it, it's almost like a burlap or a gunny sack bag. It's very primitive, very open weave, and I love it. I've done several things on this linen. Letters for Santa, Brenda Gervais with I Needle and Thread. Love it. All the called for. I'm using all the called for. Something fun. It's in my salt box project bag. The other one I started is also a Christmas start. And I'm wondering where I put my, not sure about the thread, or excuse me, the threads are called for, but I'm not sure about the fabric. Anyway, is a Merry Heart by Plum Street Sampler. And it's definitely a Christmas. Merry is spelled M-E-R-R-Y. But that house, I think I'm going to change the color of that house so it shows up a lot more. But here's my start. I got the border along the bottom done. And it's going to be a lot bigger than I thought. Stitch count is 219 by 124. But look at the dove. There's a dove and a reindeer and these beautiful flowers on that. I don't know if you could see that. It's really hard filming this, being so far away from the camera. Just a word of wise to the cautionary person who tries to do this. And maybe a blue house. I was thinking about green for Christmas or a pretty cheddar, but I don't have many things that have a blue house on them. So I think blue would be really pretty with maybe just some white. I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyway, there is my start. The bottom border. And yes, I had a viewer last time comment in. This is, whoops, this is Holly. This is in my Holly Hobby bag because this was gifted to me from my dear friend Christy. But that's Holly Hobby and Betsy Clark. I knew her name was Betsy. I just couldn't remember her last name. Holly Hobby and Betsy Clark. Such cute little girls. Such kindred spirits. Anyway. And the last thing I'm working on for Christmas. Oh, this is not even going to be a start, but I kitted it up. I was so excited. Last year I got, in fact, I don't even have thread in here. Last year I purchased Hospitality and Good Cheer by Lori Rippey. I have the companion piece up there, Mary Bell, hanging on my wall. See if I can get the glare off that. That's Hospitality and Good Cheer. 2022. This one, Lori, I might do this for my Christmas in July. I've already kitted it up. Here are my flosses. I kitted it up with a red house because I loved it. And then these floss cards. These are all DMC. But it's The Holy Child 2023 by Lori Rippey. Oh my goodness. That's the big picture. Here's the front of it. I printed out everything when I downloaded it. The Holy Child was sent for all mankind. 3 wise men did come to find. All our costliest treasures bring to Christ our heavenly King. It's got a peacock on it. And 2 red houses. And it's Christmassy. Ooh, here are my flosses. Like I said, I don't have fabric picked out yet. But, oh, Lori. But both of them are stored in the same, my toile bag, my toile Christmas bag. Lori, you are talented. You are very, very talented. Okay. The next one I was going to start, and I got to looking at it. I love it. I downloaded it from Stacy Nash's Etsy shop. Stacy Nash Malabar Farm Pin Keep. Now this is not Christmas, but if you really look at those tulips, it looks like they're red on the outside with a slate blue or a gray on the inside. I kitted it up with the called for, and it's literally all these greens and golds. So I'm going to have to really spend some time and look at this a little closer. I definitely want that bluish, the scissors are that blue, silvery color. The base, the urn that flower is in. Maybe I need to email and see what color I'm missing, but those are literally the colors that it calls for on the chart. I'm not seeing it. So I may have to do a little bit of substitution. Anyway, I really wanted to start that one before the end of the year, but now I have a substitute. I have kitted up. I have loved for the longest time since it came out, mainly because of the saying. And this is in my, it looks like a cooking bag. There's cooking insignia on the front and the back. Recipes, it says perfect pure flavoring, dry goods. There's this post up here in the front. On the back, flour, baking soda, bread, home cooking, you know, just some insignias like you would be baking at home. At home being the key word. And I started kitting this up when my granddaughter was visiting, and I had her write 36 count affogato by Fiber on a Whim, if you can see that. She's in kindergarten. She was at the time. 36 count affogato by Fiber on a Whim. That's what I'm stitching this on, and it's At Home by Brenda Gervais. And I'm going to be starting this on New Year's Eve. But that's saying, for genuine happiness, we need not roam. Doubtless, it is doubtless found with little and at home. Love it, love it, love it. New Year's Eve, you want to start it with me? My granddaughter's handwriting. I think I'm gonna tape this to the back of the picture when I get it framed, because I'll probably date it. It was in August when I had her. And my needle minder there from my friend Becky. It's a tooth when I had braces. Becky, I'm pretty sure yours are off by now. It went 36 count affogato. She even did a great job spelling it. By Fiber on a Whim, At Home, and these are the beautiful colors. Some DMC, some so pretty. There's even this light teal in there. I'll have to see how that works out, but you know, it's always what called for. I have seen this stitched in person. It's just phenomenal. So pretty. New Year's Eve. Probably start about, I don't know, 7:30 and put in a really good movie and off we go to the races, right? Okay. Let's do a few Christmas finishes from prior years. If I happen to know thread, flosses, or pattern designer, I will tell you. Sleigh Bells. I may put them across the bottom of the screen. I want to say this was a download from I can see the chart in my head, but I can't see the name. I'll put it across the bottom of the screen. Sleigh Bells. And I did this just maybe a couple years ago. This one I did in the early 90s, and this is just an embroidery. I do have more cross stitch here. It's just the way things were stacked up. This is called Woolies, and it's an embroidered pillow. Kind of a primitive looking stocking. Maybe something somebody wore out on the pond to go ice skating. I love it. Woolies. This was a kit from Lisa Bongian. Primitive Gatherings. It's a wool table mat, and I've showed this before a couple years ago, but I love these Santas, and I don't know what that, oh, it's his hand. Yeah, just around and around and around. I usually have it sitting back there where that candle is, but I wanted to show it today, so. And this one I did not wool applique. My Kool-Aid mom appliqued this for me, and in turn I quilted a quilt for her. I've just discovered that I love wool applique. I love to look at it. I love the way it looks, all the hand-dyed variations in the hand-dyed wool, but I cannot applique wool. So my Kool-Aid mom appliqued this one for me, and I quilted a quilt for her. This little guy I did, I want to say it was last year. And this pattern company is no longer in business. If they are, they're under a new name. I remember it was from Stone and Thread, and I don't remember the name of the pattern. But anyway, it's a snowman, and I love the way his scarf is sticking straight out, like there's a cold wind. And this frame is like a 2x3. This is 28 count 1/1. And it was with some overdyed flosses, some fancy flosses. But his scarf is just sticking straight out. It almost looks like it's his carrot nose, but it's not. It's his little scarf, and there's some snowflakes falling in his Christmas tree. Stone and Thread, I do remember it, but I can't remember the name of the chart name. My dear friend Cree stitched this for me a while ago, and I have another one that I did for her, or she did for me, and it's a sleigh, and it just says Sleigh Ride. But that one unfortunately is packed up in the mountains, at the mountain house. But Peace to All This Christmas, 1809. I love this. This is one of the first things I get out every single year. Thank you, Cree. Two more. One is Parson Brown. I know this is a Not Forgotten Farms, and I did this 2000 and my granddaughter was 4. I've told the story about this one before. My granddaughter was 6. I'm sorry. So this has been about 2018 I finished. I was really struggling with that snowman. And one day she came over and she wanted to stitch with me. So I let her work in some of the stitches in the bottom, and they're definitely off count. She has 2/4 and 2/3 and 2x6, and she was just kind of going all different directions, but I left the stitches. I wanted those to stay in there. I don't know if you could see that it's really cattywampus, but this is my Parson Brown, Not Forgotten Farms. I bought the pattern way back when it first came out, and I stitched almost all of it, but all that was left was that snowman, and it was really hard for me to see. So finally I got that out, and see, she was about 5 or 6, so it would have been about 2017, 2018. In the meadow, we can build a snowman. Love him. And the last prior Christmas finish I have was last year, and we just had our church Christmas party, and our theme was the Christmas truce of 1914. Well, I had gotten this sampler out that I had put my grandparents' name on, and I put the year of their anniversary. They were married December 17th of 1914. This is, oh gosh, I'll listen to the name. It's a blackbird. I'll put the name across the bottom. But the monogram is Henry and Goldie Seabrass. Seabrass is my mother's maiden name. But look at that date, 1914. And when I first got this out and I looked at that date, I thought, wow, they were only married, what, a week before that Christmas truce happened in World War I. So I know it's by Blackbird, but just for the life of me right now, I cannot remember the name of this chart, but it is just one of my very favorite pieces. Maybe Christmas Rose. I'll put it across the bottom. Okay, a couple blasts from the past here, and then 2 things of quilting, and we're done. The winner of the chart, last video, I was asking, help, which chart should I start? And I physically counted them up, and I pulled the 2 charts. There were only difference in voting by 1 vote. So it was a close call. And I don't remember the actual numbers, but this Olga stocking won by 1. And the second runner-up was the Butternut House by Stacy Nash. I'm going to be kitting them both. This one only won by 1 vote, but it has a lot of threads on it. So most of them I think I have, some I do not. So I will work on getting those gathered up. And this one was one of my favorites too. And a dear viewer suggested that she had seen the pumpkins across the bottom stitched without faces. So I probably will be doing that so I can stretch this one further into the fall season. But both of them will be getting kitted up. Thank you for voting. Yeah, I want to stitch everything. So it's kind of a toss-up. But also the end of October, it was just before Halloween, and Maggie's on Main, she has given me, there's a right about there, there's a wooden ornament that says Maggie's on Main on it. That she loves to work with wood, Maggie does, and she'd given me that ornament. I want to say it was last year or the year before. But Maggie's, her main talent, unbelievable talent, is painting. And she teaches watercolor and acrylic. I'm not all up with the terminology in the painting world, but I took a watercolor class from her. It was the end of October, and we made these pumpkins. We painted these pumpkins, I should say. And the one thing I learned about watercolor is it does not stay where it's supposed to. It was very, very fluid. It was kind of, until I kind of got, I still didn't get the hang of it, but until I kind of understood that where I put it, it was not going to stay. It acts as its own little behaviors, let's put it that way. But this is my pumpkin that I painted. It has some leaves down here, and so, it was a gorgeous little pumpkin. But I enjoyed that. I'll probably take a few more classes this year. I think in January she said we were going to be painting some pansies, so we'll see. I just mainly wanted to I don't know, broaden my horizons a little bit. It's definitely not like quilting. Quilting is, it's exact. Where you put that color of fabric, it stays. Same with cross stitching. When you make a cross stitch, they stay where they're supposed to. Paint, watercolor didn't quite do that. So, but I really enjoyed it. Total different medium for me. So, I wanted to also bring back a blast from the past. I don't know if any of you have these kinds of cups. My girlfriend Nicole had sent me some of these. I had purchased some, we're talking early 90s, maybe they're plastic. They were from a company called the Gooseberry Patch. And I loved their catalogs when they came out. Early to mid 90s, hand-drawn illustrations of things they had for sale. Anyway, I had bought some of these cups. And then my girlfriend Nicole last Christmas had given me one, and this one I hand wash. I'm not going to put it through the dishwasher because the last set I had back in the 90s, yeah, you put them through the dishwasher and we all know kind of what happens in the dishwasher. They were faded and flaking off, but oh, I just love these cups. This is my orange juice cup in the morning. My glass of water first thing in the night, or last thing before night, before I go to bed. Look at that little moose. This is the illustrations just like their catalogs used to be. I wish I had a catalog. What are their old catalogs? They were so sweet. I have several of their cookbooks. I have several of their Christmas decorations still, but I'd forgotten all about these cups until my girlfriend Nicole had sent me one last year. I'd say it's about a 16 ounce. But I love the mittens, and there's some popcorn strung up along there. Oh, the early 90s. I'm a 70s kid, so the 90s were like, my kids were young, and those were the days. Okay, and then the last thing, before I talk about my 2 things of quilting here, on my tree back here, sometimes you see these little white snowflakes. Well, my local friend here in town, her name is Linda, Thank you, Linda. I cannot tell you. She tatted me 24 of these snowflakes. They are tatted. Let me see if I can get them really close for you. But they're tatted. Aren't they divine? Tatting, talk about a lost art. They're also then like starched. They're pretty stiff. And then she has some fishing line to hang them on the tree. Oof. I will treasure these. Oh, my mouth just, when I opened these, when she'd given these to me, just look at those. Hand tatted. Oh, just, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I have received several ornaments and gifts from friends and family near and far, and stitchers and quilters, and you guys are the best. I really, some of them are too personal really to show, and these knocked my socks off, but I had to show these because tatting, I know how to do a picot, but tatting is definitely a lost art. So beautiful. Okay, and then the last thing is 2 things of quilting here, and we're done. I purchased these probably 2 years ago. These I got, it's So Emma, and I've quilted or made several of these log pattern designs. These blocks happen to be 6-inch block, the patterns, the pieces finish out at 6 inches. These are paper pieced piecing pieces, as one fell out. But I've just kind of been dabbling in working with these. They all come out different. But look at how small they are. When you put them all together and then you put them into a quilt, they're going to be really, really small. I have been, over the summer, I quilted several quilts for customers that I knew were going to be Christmas gifts. They know, my customers, whether they're here in southwestern Idaho or up in the mountains, they know I'm only near my long arm machine so many months of the year or over long weekends or whatever. So they really have to plan ahead. And that's the funnest part of my job. The first one is seeing all the different quilts come in. But the second one is if I know that it's a Christmas quilt and somebody will be opening a Christmas quilt on Christmas morning, that is the best. That is the best feeling in the world. So, but anyway, just kind of been messing with, now I got to take the papers off the back, but just kind of messing around with log cabin pieces, paper piecing, kind of having fun. But speaking of that, my granddaughter Oakley, the one who wrote The Affogato by Fiber on a Whim, F-O-A-W, she is getting a quilt this year. And in my sneakiness, over the summer, she's in kindergarten, she's now in 1st grade, but over the summer, she was looking at all my pretty pink fabrics. I told her to pick out 20 fat quarters, count to 20 for me, and pick out 20 of her favorites. Not knowing that Grandma was going to make her a quilt. Now there is a quilt pattern out there called Turning 20, and it's really simple. Big blocks, goes together like that. I can cut and have that thing together, sewn, at least the top sewn together in a morning. It goes that fast. But you take these 20 fat quarters and you make 20 blocks and you quilt it. So I didn't have enough time to do much, but they're all her favorite pinks. So this is what she is getting for Christmas. Look at this cupcake one. This is what she's getting for Christmas. Nothing fancy in the way of quilting, or I think I did a pantograph on this one, and I think this looks like twisted tatting. I don't know if you could see it at an angle, but anyway, this is Oakley's Christmas present. And it's a pretty big size. It's a good twin. Here's some of the other back. The back is some purple flannel. Little girls getting missionary letters and some chocolate covered strawberries. I worked with what I had up there, and I used up 2 pieces of fabric plus 20 fat quarters. All out of the stash. So anyway, she will be opening this actually Tuesday because we will not be with her. So here in a couple days, she will be opening, I just love this. She will be opening this, but I just love this. The first one she picked out was this cupcake. So she is getting a quilt for Christmas this year. That is all I have from my home to yours. Enjoy your Christmas. Let the peace of the holiday wash over you. Don't stress. Don't stress out about the things that might not matter in the future. Enjoy the morning. Enjoy the Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve this year falls on a Sunday. And that's one of my very favorite ways to have Christmas fall. Christmas Eve on a Sunday, Christmas on a Monday. Enjoy your family, enjoy friends, enjoy the weather. Peace to you all, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will see you in January.